During my first year of university, I agreed to go on a date with an attractive and seemingly nice guy who approached me in the city center, claiming to recognize me from uni. He laid on the charm before asking me out, and I was pleased that he was interested in me. Our first date went well, as he started by being a gentleman, opening doors and pulling out my chair. He was also good at conversation, and we had a nice dinner. However, as the night drew to a close, he began to push for physical intimacy, which made me uncomfortable. I had to tell him straight up that I was not that kind of girl and did not know him well enough to trust him. I thought he would respect that, but he started to text me constantly at all hours, becoming increasingly irritated and even threatening if I didn't reply. The last straw was when he called me 12 times in the middle of the night, leaving weird messages asking why I wasn't answering. I had to be firm with him and tell him to back off and chill out, but his response was to say that he was in love with me. I felt a mix of cringe and dread, as it was obvious how awkward it was to say that so early, and I realized it would be a difficult task to get rid of him. I replied to his text, expressing my confusion as to how he could think a certain way about me when we barely knew each other. However, he responded with a barrage of attacks that persisted throughout the night. His messages became increasingly creepy and unsettling with each passing moment. He had a pattern of sending 2 messages in quick succession, with one in all capital letters expressing his disappointment and the other threatening to come find me. Despite feeling frightened by his messages, I couldn't bring myself to stop reading them. I was alone in my dormitory, away from my friends, and had no one to turn to for help. I desperately wanted to know if he had found me or if I needed to worry about my safety, so I continued to subject myself to his disturbing words and threats. Eventually, I turned off my phone and cried myself to sleep. The following morning, I demanded that he delete my number and stop contacting me because his behavior was scaring me. However, he tried to call me roughly 30 times throughout the day, and when he realized I wasn't going to answer, he started texting me. One morning, while I was getting ready for work, my phone rang with his name on the screen. I answered the call and gave him a piece of my mind. I told him that his behavior was disturbing, and I barely knew him enough to receive it. I explained that I didn't deserve it and thought he needed help. He was shocked that I answered the call and broke into apologies, telling me how sorry he was for his immature behavior. He tried to convince me that we were right for each other and begged for another chance, but I knew I had to be firm. I told him I didn't want to see him again, and if he contacted me with any threatening messages, I would go straight to the police. He didn't respond to my warning and went quiet, either out of sadness or rage. It was scary and depressing to see how completely deluded and over-emotional he was about a first date. I chose a new, clear option for my safety and well-being. After a few seconds of silence, I hung up. The next month or so was peaceful, and I didn't hear from him at all. The incident had gone from a fresh wound to something I could joke about with my friends. Then, out of nowhere, he started writing me on Facebook, commenting on my pictures, and posting on my wall. I had foolishly lowered my privacy settings to make it easier for people I met at uni to contact me, as I was still a first year and wanted to network. It was a big mistake on my part, and although I blocked and reported him as quickly as I could, the damage was already done. Some of the people I had met now thought I had some kind of obsessive boyfriend. After that, he began sending me emails, saying things like, "I can't stop thinking about you. Sometimes I see you around, and it kills me that I screwed up my chances with you. You're such a decent person, but it's messed up how you handled things." I didn't reply. I made sure to block all his social media and email addresses. I figured showing him any attention at all would only make things worse. It worked for a while, and his attempts at communication dropped off completely. But then things got even creepier than his online attempts to talk to me. During the last few months of my first year, I got a part-time job at a cafe in the town center. Towards the end of one shift, My colleagues mentioned a guy who had been sitting across the road from the cafe on some steps for hours. Immediately, I felt a sinking sensation and asked one of my colleagues what the man outside looked like. Their description matched my stalker to a T. When I confirmed it was him, I felt sick to my stomach as he sat there, staring through the cafe window. After a brief eye contact, I rushed to the back of the house to inform the manager. She was incredibly supportive, telling me to call the police while she confronted him outside and informed him that he was not allowed to wait for me to leave my workplace. Over the next week, I shared all records of our communication with a police officer, including the threatening messages he had sent me. Fortunately, I had the foresight to screenshot the most violent ones. I did not want to make an empty threat, but rather show him that I meant business so that the police could take action. They contacted him to let him know they were aware of his behavior, which led to him never contacting me again. The incident at the cafe was the last time I saw him, but unfortunately, it was not the last I heard of him. A year later, while smoking in the pub, I struck up a conversation with a girl about student dating. She told me about a handsome and charming guy she went on a date with who turned out to be a complete nightmare. As she described his behavior, it became clear to me that he was the same person who had stalked me a year ago. I asked her if his name was Liam, and she was shocked that I knew. I shared my experience and advised her to do the same things I did, including taking screenshots of messages, forwarding them to the police, and not engaging with him. She was grateful to have someone who understood what she was going through. And we became good friends, even though we now live in different cities. We still keep in touch to provide each other with support in dating. Thankfully, nothing like that has happened to me since, but I know I am now better equipped to deal with it if it ever does. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and sharing it to support me. The best is yet to come.